Welcome to the new video where we will explore Hogwarts in the Hogwarts experience of Pottermore.com live. So we are seeing that the Hogwarts is loading, and this is the Hogwarts logo where we can see Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. And now this is the Hogwarts Lake. I don't know if this has a name or something, but let's call it Hogwarts Lake. And this is the Hogwarts Castle. Okay, so welcome to Hogwarts, Pottermore from J.K. Rowling. Experience Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry like never before. Explore the castle's exterior, get lost in the Forbidden Forest, and fly around the Quidditch pit. It's all here waiting for you. Okay, I can hear the water splashing. So this is the volume button, and let's enter. So that is Hogwarts Castle, and this is the bridge that's connecting to the mainland and Hogwarts. So I can move right, I can move left. Okay, there's a sound effect. And can I move forward? Yes, I can move forward using my wheel button of mouse, and can move backward. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, let's see what that is. Just click it. Okay, 1 of 100 hotspots found. So in this video we will cover 100 hotspots. Let's try to find those. Okay, mysterious castle. The narrow path had opened suddenly onto the edge of a great black lake, perched atop a high mountain on the other side. Its windows sparkling the starry sky was a vast castle with many turrets and towers. This is from Harry Potter Book 1, The Philosopher's Stone. Okay, let's cross it. And it says click and drag to look around. Okay, I can click and drag to look around. Okay, this is Hogwarts interactive. I can move easily around. Okay, there's another hotspot. Let's see what that one is. Okay, I got 2 now. A forgotten Horcrux. In Deathly Hallows, Harry returned to Hogwarts to track down the final Horcruxes. You remember, of course. Little did he know that he came across one by accident in his 6th year, and never realized an old tiara in the room of requirement that was actually the lost diadem of Ravenclaw. Okay, I think Luna Lovegood helped finding that, right? Okay, 2 gone, only 98 to go. So let's move forward. Is that another one? This one. Let's see. Oh, this is the one I just found out. Okay, I can move along. It's just like a VR game. Just not normal game, a virtual reality game. Okay, what is this? Number 3. A train of thought. Before the Hogwarts Express existed, students used to travel to the school in any manner that caught their fancy. Minister for Magic Otterlin Gamble, who had an interest in Muggle innovations, eventually suggested a train. So what did they actually use before? I don't know. Maybe we'll know forward. Okay, next. So there is another one. So this is number 4, Hogwarts, a history. So there's a long history here of this school of witchcraft and wizardry. This is one of the most well-respected wizarding schools in the world. If I wish I could. Located in the Highlands of Scotland. So Hogwarts is in Scotland. Okay, that's new. It accepts students from all over the United Kingdom, as well as Ireland, from the age of 11. Created by 4 founders many years ago. We know these things. Okay, no problem. Is there something new? Hogwarts is shielded from Muggle eyes by charms. Yeah, we know that. Indeed, if a Muggle were to pass by Hogwarts, all they could see is a ruin and a warning of danger. Plus, their phone wouldn't work. Higher levels of magic make Muggle devices go haywire, apparently. Okay, fine. Have you guys read the new James Potter series? There is an incident where a Muggle just comes up in Hogwarts. You guys can read that. It's a fan fiction stories with 5 books. That's nice, actually. Okay, next. There is another one. It says the Battle of Hogwarts. Okay, we know the 7th book, Hades. Shall we read this? The enchanted ceiling of the Great Hall was dark, scattered with stars, and below it 4 long house tables were lined with disabled students, some in traveling cloaks, others in dressing gowns. Here and there shone the pearly white figures of the schoolgirls. Every eye, living and dead, was fixed upon Professor McGonagall, who was speaking from the raised platform at the top of the hall. Behind her stood the remaining teachers, including the Palomino Centaur Firenze. Oh, you remember him, that Centaur, and the members of the Order of the Phoenix who had arrived to fight. Okay, this is a long thing from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and in movie, the 8th movie, part 2. Okay. Next, have we missed something? It seems we have. No, we haven't. Next. Still a pretty great hall. The entrance hall is the room that precedes the Great Hall in Hogwarts, but that's not to say all manner of things that didn't happen there too. In the books, Sybil Trelawney was unceremoniously fired there by Dolores Umbridge, and Fred and George made their dramatic Hogwarts exit in the entrance hall after setting off a whole batch of fireworks. Yes, I remember that one from the movies. It was excellent to watch, wasn't it? Okay, next there is another one. Let's not miss that one. Okay, what does it say? Come on. Hello, yeah. A magnificent entrance. The entrance hall was so big, you could have fitted the whole of the Dursley's house in it. Really? That big? The stone walls were lit with flaming torches like the ones at the Gringotts. Okay, the ceiling was too high to make out, and a magnificent marble staircase facing them led to the upper floors. This is from the first book. Okay, this is a famous place, you know. Have you played Order of the Phoenix? That game had this place, and also the Half-Blood Prince. Magnificent. There are movie scenes too, right? Okay, now this one. What is this thing called actually? I forgot. Anyway, Fred and George's Great Escape. Okay, this is from Order of the Phoenix, and I was just talking about that scene just earlier. Okay, this is probably that scene's reference, right? That fireworks thing that they did. Fred and George wheeled about to tumultuous applause from the students below and sped out of the open front doors in the glorious sunset. That was magnificent, right? Okay, number 8 gone. No, number 9. What did it say? An indecent proposal. What is that? The entrance hall was the location where Ron embarrassingly randomly asked out Fleur-de-Lis. Okay, from Goblet of Fire. I don't know what made me do it. I don't know what made me do it, he said at the time. Of course, Fleur would go on to marry his older brother Bill. Bit weird, you know, when you think about it. Yeah, really weird. Okay, now this one. First impressions. The entrance hall is rather special as it was the first room Harry entered at Hogwarts, okay, back in the book 1. This was also the first time the students were introduced to Professor McGonagall. Unknown to Harry, he had technically met her once before, when he was just a baby being dropped off at Privet Drive. Okay, fine. Next, let's move on. Okay, when we are done with some hotspots, they turn orange. Okay, next one is this. This is Harry's first feast. It was lit by thousands and thousands of candles which were floating in midair over 4 long tables where the rest of the students were sitting. Let me say something. It was magnificent, of course, because in the movie, and I was pretty young back then, pretty small, I was fascinated by the scenes. Oh, those days. These tables were laid with glittering golden plates and goblets. See those candles hanging just mid-ear. At the top of the hall was another long table where the teachers were sitting, and of course Dumbledore were in the middle. This is from the book 1. Okay, next. Which one? No, this one. Okay, what did it say? Food, glorious food. In all of Harry Potter books, the Great Hall of Hogwarts is the location where food is mentioned the most. 74 times, in fact. Okay, that's the new info. I didn't know that. Fine. Okay, next, this one probably. I love flying around Hogwarts, right? Okay, Hogwarts at Halloween. 1,000 live bats fluttered from the walls and ceiling. Okay, I know this is from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Just read it out, okay? Okay, next is this one. And this one is the greatest of halls. The Great Hall is an integral room in Hogwarts and has hosted many a spectacular event. Okay, where's the animation thing? Okay, they have animation for some of them and don't have for some of them. Many of them. This include hundreds of start of term feasts and celebrations from Halloween to Christmas, during which it is always decked out in spectacular decorations under a ceiling enchanted to look like the sky outside. This is beautiful, of course. The ceiling looks like the sky, starry sky. For Harry, the Great Hall was where he experienced many life-changing moments, from winning Gryffindor the House Cup for the first time to being picked as Hogwarts champion in the Trials tournament. It was also the place where he, Ron, and Hermione had many happy breakfasts, and the room in which the school mourned the loss of Cedric Diggory. In the final book, it is also the very room in which Harry finally conquered Lord Voldemort after 7 long freaking years. But they drained it in the movie, of course, in Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2. Where did the Great Hall go? Where did that fight take place? In the courtyard? That sucked real time. And how did Voldemort die in the movie? Rubbish. Okay, next. Let's fly around Hogwarts. I think I'm gonna miss some spots. There you go. Okay, now hats of fact. So here's the fact. There is the hat animation. Okay, fine. This looks cool. When getting sorted into Hogwarts houses, some students confuse the sorting hat, creating a hat stall. Okay. This phenomenon occurs when the hat takes more than 5 minutes to decide on a student's house. Near hat stalls include Hermione Granger, nearly a Ravenclaw, and Neville Longbottom, nearly a Hufflepuff. Minerva McGonagall was a true hat stall, with the hat agonizing over putting her in a Gryffindor or Ravenclaw. Okay, I didn't know that. Nice fact to know. Okay, did I miss any of them? I hope not. We'll come back later if we have missed anyone of them. Next is there. This is Hogwarts portraits. Hogwarts portraits can move from picture to picture and interact with the living world. Yeah, we know that. How much they can do this, however, depends on the portrait, on the power of the portrait subject. The painter would use the sitter's favorite phrases or personality traits and input them into the painting. That is why Sir Cadogan is always challenging people to fights, and the fat lady has a penchant for uh, chocolate liqueurs. Okay, when it comes to headmasters or headmistress portraits, the subject must visit their portrait and chat to it on regular occasions to teach it to perfectly reflect themselves after they have passed. How about Snape's portrait? Okay, he was a headmaster, right? He was the headmaster of Hogwarts. Okay, next. Okay. Forward or backward? Have we missed anything? Okay, let's go forward. That's really nice. Another courtyard. There is one. This is Hogwarts romance. Madame Pince, the Hogwarts librarian, was suspected of having had a romantic relationship with the Hogwarts caretaker Argus Filch. Who can have that thought? Really? We got wind of this in the Half-Blood Prince when Harry told Hermione he thought there was something going on between them. How scandalous. Okay, next. There is one. This is a silence at the library. So there is an animation of the library books. The library is home to a seemingly never-ending treasure trove of knowledge, stacked high with every tome imaginable. It's where you will most likely have found Hermione, who regarded it as a sanctuary of learning, but other students not so much. Of course, most are more interested in the restricted section, where a number of darker books can be found. For example, one of the first books Harry found there was one that couldn't stop screaming when he opened it. So much for the silence of the library, right? Ironic. Okay, I didn't quite like the library that very much. Okay, next this. So a slippery slope. The stairs to the Hogwarts Gryffindor girls' dormitory will turn into a slide if any boys try to walk up them. Really? I didn't know that. According to Hogwarts A History, I need to read this book. The Hogwarts founders thought that boys were less trustworthy than girls. Aren't they? Okay. Next. Fine, go. Wait, this one. Hoggy, Warty, Hogwarts. We were introduced to the school song. Okay, yes, Hoggy, Warty, Hogwarts, featuring the iconic lyrics in Harry's first year. It has set lyrics that can be sung to any tune a student or teacher desires. Sadly, after the first year, we never heard it sung again. As J.K. Rowling explained, Dumbledore called for the school song when he was feeling particularly buoyant, but times are becoming ever darker in the wizarding world. What was the song? Would you remember, guys, that song from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban in the third movie, where that cauldron or whatever thing, that movie, after the train scene, that was pretty nice. Okay, next, let's go on. Look at that bridge, see? That bridge that connecting these two parts of the castle. I have memories in the game there. Okay, what is that? The house ghosts. How did each Hogwarts ghost die? Okay, that's a very good question. Well, Nearly Headless Nick was nearly beheaded. The Fat Friar was executed. The Grey Lady was murdered by the Bloody Baron. Okay, and the Bloody Baron killed himself in remorse for what he had done to the Grey Lady. Lovely stuff. Okay, take it. Okay, fine. Next is, let's go. Is that one? No, not that is one. Muggle magic. Muggle technology famously does not agree with Hogwarts. However, Muggle studies students are allowed to use Muggle Internet. What? Muggle Internet as a research for that particular lesson. We imagine this takes place away from the castle due to Hogwarts' incompatibility with anything electronic. Okay, fine. Next. Very good. These are the greenhouses, right? And we can see surroundings. Nice, really nice. Okay, this is an awkward setting. The greenhouses were the setting of an incredibly awkward scene between Ron and Hermione, as Hermione almost sort of asked out Ron on a date to the Slughorn's Christmas party. However, Ron put his foot in it by asking if she was planning on getting off with Cormac McLagan, and Harry was left to awkwardly squeeze what the thing was, snargle of boards in the background. Oh, young love. Oh, I remember that thing from it was from Harry Potter and the verse 6, Half-Blood Prince. Okay, as Slughorn was in it. Fine, next. This one is the greenhouses. Okay, the greenhouses are where Hogwarts. Okay, you can see herbology things, plants. The greenhouses were where Hogwarts students go to study herbology, led by Professor Sprout, and of course we know later Professor Neville Longbottom, the eccentric head of Hufflepuff House. Was Neville also the head of Hufflepuff House? No, he can't be, because he needed to be a Hufflepuff, right? We know there are at least 3 greenhouses, each one holding increasingly more interesting and dangerous looking plants. There were Professor Sprout grew mandrakes, plants with powerful restorative properties that cured the students attacked by the basilisk in Chamber of Secrets. Okay, so Professor Sprout, head of herbology, and also the head of Hufflepuff House. Okay, fine. So Professor Sprout, the head of Hufflepuff House, and later passed that post of herbology professor to Professor Longbottom. Next, go along. Okay, here's one. What did it say? Greenhouse 3. There are 3 known greenhouses at Hogwarts, which contain gradually more interesting plants the higher the number. Harry started on Greenhouse 1, but eventually got to sample the lights of Greenhouse 3, which include pus-filled Beaver-tubers. What was the pronunciation? I forgot. Anyway, next. So Greenhouse 3 gone. Next is this one. Let's see what that is. Okay, the restricted section. Among the horrible bugs we know exist in the restricted section of the Hogwarts library are most potent potions and magic monster evil. Okay, I am not that much fluent in French. Okay, the letter lets out a ghostly wail when you shut it, and giving a whole new meaning to the phrase "I couldn't put the book down." This is from part 1, right? Philosopher's Stone. Okay, next this one. This one is maybe Hermione's Sanctuary. I got it. The only person missing was Hermione, who turned up just in time for the lesson. When in the library, Harry finished a sentence for her. I miss reading these books. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This one is. Okay, next. This one. This is Greenhouse again. Yes, Greenhouse, Mandrake's World. It's not just the Gryffindors who know how to party. The Mandrakes threw quite the bash in Greenhouse 3 when they came of age. Okay, I know this thing. Fine. Next is, let's sit down. Okay, I kind of missed that. What is that? Flora to fauna over. Okay. There was a murmur of interest that only ever worked in Greenhouse 1 before. This is boring. I find herbology boring. Do you? Harry caught blah blah blah. This is from Chamber of Secrets. Mandrake something. Okay, let's skip this one. Okay, there is something. Also this. Many magical plants. Some of the plants that the Hogwarts students study across the Pyramid books include fanged geraniums, mandrakes, daffodils, venomous tentaculans, snargalovs. But I know daffodils. Okay, I only remember mandrakes and venomous tentaculum, and this one came up just before a few hotspots. But I know what mandrakes are and what venomous tentaculars. Okay, fine. Next, let's go. Which way? This way. Hey, this is something.